So we've got a Corsa VXR manifold to make, a Corsa D bottom mount manifold. So we don't make many of these. These are pretty rare. I think we've maybe like made 5 or 6 ever. Don't sell many Corsa kits. Obviously the Corsas aren't so popular for big power for whatever reason that is. I think it's mainly because you have to spend quite a lot more money on the Corsa initially because the engines are, you know, quite a lot weaker than the Astra Z20 engine. But once they are built, they are arguably a better engine than Z20. But that's a conversation for another time. So this is going to be a 347 manifold, as we're doing as much as possible now on as many, you know, kinds of manifolds as we can do. Obviously billet head flange, cast collector. We've already done the collector V-band weld. This is going to be a tile turbine housing. So all of our Astra manifolds are now for G-series turbos, and we do offer G-series for the Corsa as well, but given that the Corsa is a 1.6, most people that are building them tend to be building them for track cars, and they want really responsive setup. And the smallest G-series is a 25-550, which is quite big compared to something like a 2860 or a 2867, and you can get a really small tile turbine housing, really small AR. So that's what, again, in the few that we've done, tends to be more popular. People not looking for peak figures, people looking for like a real solid 400 horsepower, which is super responsive and drives like a hybrid. So yeah, that's what we're going to be getting on with. Got a load of bends out. This is the Ice Engine Works stuff that we use, that we started using a fair bit. The only thing with this stuff is it doesn't match the sizes of the 347 bends we use. So we can only use it as a rough guide, but it'll get us close. You know, it certainly still helps. It gets us close. So yeah, first thing we need to do is kind of lay out which bends we want, where we're going to have them against our kind of pattern set of bends, and then start cutting some stuff up. Right, so we've got this first one mocked up, which is obviously the easiest one because it's just 2 bends and 1 weld. I mean, you could say it's easy, but yeah, we still haven't really got any room for error in terms of, like, you know, we have got to get it millimetre perfect. So it looks easy, but you know, there's still a bit of fettling with it. And then we've got this next one now. So what I tend to do with these is I like to, if it's a primary that's got like more than 2 welds in it, I like to weld them up as 2, because we always get a small amount of movement and a small amount of shrinkage. It allows you to be a little bit lazier with your calculations on shrinkage. If you kind of just do 1 weld at a time, you can adjust as you go. So I've got these 2 primaries mocked up. So yeah, what I'm going to do now is go ahead and do some welding.
Some mummies were carnivorous, only eating meat. There were mummies that could swim.
So we've got the primaries all welded up now, all welded onto the collector and the head flange, tagged up. This is a really crucial part because of the amount of heat that goes into the head flange while we're welding it. It's always best to make sure it's like full on room temperature cool before we unbolt it. That way we get the least amount of movement in it, the least amount of warpage. which we end up surfacing them flat anyway, but we still want the least amount of movement because it gives us less material to remove, basically. But we're now at the point where we can unbolt that, and then it's a case of welding the back side of the head flange. So, you know, as the pipe goes into the flange, we'll have the join, which we just need to weld up just to make sure we've got no kind of stress risers in there, anywhere where a crack can begin to form. And then it's just a case of sanding it out, and it's ready.